It's early 1980, and South Korea is really tense. Not too long ago, President Park Chung-hee was assassinated by his own intelligence chief. This should have led the country to democracy, but instead it opened the door for a new dictator, Chun Do-hwan. By May, Chun is the shadow ruler of South Korea, and he is about to tighten his grip. Martial law is declared across the nation. Schools and universities are closed. No public gatherings, no media, and no freedom of speech. Anyone who dares to speak out is met with batons, boots, or worse. But there's one city that doesn't sit quietly, Gwangju. Far from Seoul, but full of fire. It's a place with a long memory and a rebellious heart. Students here are angry, watching democracy slip through their fingers again. They've lived through dictatorship once, and now they see it creeping back. Troops began arriving in Gwangju under cover of night. Not just regular soldiers, but special forces paratroopers trained to kill. They set up around campuses, plazas, and city buildings. Locals noticed military trucks rolling in and rifles slung low and loaded. The government says it's for public safety, but everyone knows what this really is. It is a preparation for war, but this time against their own people. Phones are tapped, posters are ripped down, protest leaders vanish in the middle of the night, and yet the people of Gwangju don't stay silent. Students whisper about resistance in dorm rooms. Citizens mutter at market stalls. Something's coming, and the streets of Gwangju are about to erupt. On May 18, dawn breaks over Cheonnam National University. A few hundred students gather at the main gate with their banners in hand. Paratroopers spill onto the pavement. A single whistle blows, and the soldiers surge forward. Students freeze for a split second. Then chaos erupts. Leather boots slam against unarmed bodies. Batons crack over shields of textbooks. Shouts of "Stop, we have done nothing wrong," are swallowed by the thunder of batons and gas canisters firing overhead. A tear gas cloud rolls in like a great tsunami, stinging eyes and throats. This was no longer a peaceful rally. It was the spark that would light a blaze across the city and change Gwangju forever. The sun barely rises on May 19 when the first shots ring out. Soldiers perched behind riot shields unleash a spray of live rounds into the milling crowd. Women shriek as innocents drop to the asphalt. Students clutch their chests, eyes wide with shock, while vendor carts are swept aside like toys. Chaos erupts. A teenage boy scrambles on hands and knees, dragging his wounded friend toward the curb. Tear gas canisters hiss, sending plumes of white smoke curling through narrow alleyways. The acrid stench burns throats and stings lungs, but people refuse to flee. Instead, they rally. Eyewitness testimonies affirm that locals grabbed bottles, fabric, and everyday items, using anything at hand as a shield against the gas. Suddenly, Gwangju's citizens are no longer the hunted. They form human chains. Students turned guards stand watch at barricades made of overturned trucks and piles of debris. Even as helicopters circle overhead, people hold firm. Amid the chaos, factory workers joined the protest en masse, refusing to flee and forming barricades. By nightfall, Gwangju has morphed into a makeshift fortress. Soldiers have retreated to their barracks, stunned by this sudden insurrection. The massacre meant to cow them has ignited a revolution, and there is no turning back. For the first time in days, there's a strange and fragile calm over Gwangju. The soldiers have vanished from the streets. Their armored trucks are gone. No more gunfire, no more screams. Just the quiet hum of a city that has, against all odds, taken control of itself. The people of Gwangju, bruised but unbroken, move fast. Medical students convert churches and schools into triage centers. Volunteers patrol the neighborhoods armed with walkie-talkies, organizing shifts to deliver food and supplies. Crowds gather at the former city hall, where citizens of all ages, teachers, mechanics, high schoolers, form the Citizens Committee, a grassroots council to keep order and communicate their demands: the end of martial law and democracy. Downtown Gwangju becomes a liberated zone. Protest banners stretch across rooftops. Children peek out windows to see neighbors sweeping glass and rebuilding storefronts. Even gang members and ex-cons, once feared, now help direct traffic and protect hospitals from looting. There are no police, no military, and yet no chaos. Everywhere there is a sense of unity, of shared purpose. The radio in a cafe plays the latest update from the Citizens Committee, but that sense of peace is haunted by silence from outside. The national media says little. Seoul claims the situation is under control, but no images of the uprising are aired. Inside Gwangju, they know better. They know this isn't over, and somewhere beyond the hills, tanks are already starting to move. It's 4 a.m. on May 27. Gwangju sleeps, worn out and unaware of what's coming. A low rumble cuts through the silence, soft at first, but then shaking the ground. Armored vehicles, helicopters, and black-painted soldiers. South Korea's elite paratroopers are back, not to negotiate, but to finish what they started and crush what's left. From all sides, they storm the city like a tidal wave. The citizens' barricades crumble under tank treads. Church bells ring in panic. Fighters from the civilian militia scramble to hold intersections, hurling rocks and molotovs. But they're no match. The army moves fast, firing without hesitation. By sunrise, the city is drenched in silence and blood. At the provincial office, the last defenders make a desperate stand. Surrounded, they link arms, shouting one final cry: "We are the people of Gwangju." Gunfire answers back. When it's over, bodies lie slumped across the marble floors. The official death toll is just over 200, but survivors, families, and even former soldiers whisper a darker truth. The real number may have been closer to 1,000. In the days that follow, Gwangju is locked down. Reporters are silenced. Film reels vanish, and the story is buried. But it never dies. Word of what happened spreads in secret, through smuggled photographs, whispered testimonies, and tear-stained letters. Gwangju becomes a name spoken in fear, then in fury, and eventually in honor. Years later, students across South Korea chant, "Remember Gwangju," during their own protests. The seeds of that uprising, planted in blood, grow into a national movement. By 1987, the regime finally cracks, and free elections are held. Gwangju's fight wasn't in vain. It stood alone in May 1980, but its courage sparked the fire that would set an entire country free.